Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is Jordan Golf TV, and in today's episode we are going to be talking about a question that burns deep, a question that will no doubt be piquing a lot of your guys' curiosity out there. It's whether or not the Nike Zoom Field Jacks, the Travis Scott sharkidons, are any good for golf. Now, since getting back into golf and since getting into making golf content, particularly around golf shoes as well as golf fashion, I've really noticed that in 2025 a lot more people are opting in for the type of golf footwear that isn't actually intended specifically for golf. Like, for example, trail shoes. The amount of people I've seen out there rocking with Salomons or Asics that have Gore-Tex uppers and rugged traction patterns on the outsoles for golf is like crazy to me. Like, golf shoes to me have always had a very traditional, classic look about them, not too dissimilar from Rory's Tour Victory 4s. And yes, in modern times, thanks to the proliferation of Jordan retros that have been cleat converted for the golf course, the cross-section of acceptable silhouettes to see worn on the golf course nowadays is like multi-faceted and multifarious. And so in this brand new series entitled Will It Golf, I'm going to be looking at other sneakers that weren't specifically made for golf, testing them out on the golf course and seeing if they golf. And so let's talk about these Zoom Field Jacks, or these sharkidons, or these Travis Scotts, whatever you want to call them. Now, I have done a full-blown review of these over on my main channel, Sneakernomics, where I go through all of the details as well as the materials, and so I'll leave you guys to go and check out that review if you want to know a little bit more about the shoe and its details. For the purposes of this video, we're just going to be talking about the shoe as they relate to golf. So the backdrop behind the design of the shoe is the following. This is Travis Scott's second signature shoe with Nike. Up until this point, he's mainly been collaborating on already existing models like the Jordan 1 Low. He even has a golf shoe that I'm sure a lot of you guys out there will be familiar with. And this sharkidon gets its name from the land shark, the Nike baseball cleat, as well as the Nike Zoom Spiridon, one of Nike's all-time classic running shoes. And the reason why I figured these could be good for golf is mainly because of the outsole traction pattern. It's quite aggressive, it's quite multi-studded, and although the edges are flat and somewhat rounded off, like these aren't a spiked shoe per se, they do look like they would afford some good grip out on the course. So let's talk about it. I decided to take these out for 18 holes at Toot Hill. The conditions were really good. It was a nice sunny dry day. In terms of the aesthetic and how they match up for golfing wear, I think they look pretty sleek. They do look like a bit of a golf shoe if you squint a little bit. They have the low top profile, and because you can see this rugged traction pattern literally from pretty much anywhere, these do look like they have been somewhat performance tested for outdoor activity. So they don't look like you've just taken your running shoes onto the golf course. In terms of the performance, so for me, the most important thing, or one of the most important things about a golf shoe, is that they're comfortable to walk 18 holes in. As you guys will know from my review with the Air Revs, my feet just couldn't get on with these off the rip, and after 10-11 holes my feet were knacking in these, and that really took away from my enjoyment of the shoe and my enjoyment of the round. And if anything takes away from the enjoyment of my round other than my desperately poor play, then I'm going to be annoyed about that. Now, I know this experience doesn't necessarily ring true for a lot of you guys out there that had the Air Revs, but for me these were not a comfortable walking shoe. Whereas the Travis Scotts for 18 holes were absolutely fine. There is a bit of cushioning in the Spiridon midsole. The polyurethane sole does afford a nice little bit of bounce. They also come with a plate in the forefoot, meaning you do have a little bit of stability underfoot. And so as a general walking shoe for 18 holes, I found these to be fine, with only one negative aspect to draw your attention to, and that is because of the materials. Because this is pretty much an all suede upper with a mixture of different colored suedes as well as corduroy material on the upper, as well as a tongue that isn't locked down with any rubber bands. There is a little bit of play on the tongue as you walk around, which may or may not annoy you. Because of the suede materials, they can get quite hot in the heat, particularly with the lack of ventilation. And in terms of the fit, because they have the strap across the forefoot, you can either use the strap to really lock yourself down into the shoe, or you can wear them a little bit looser if you like to have a little bit more freedom in the shoe whilst walking the course. Another really important thing with the golf shoe is of course the grip. You can't be swinging the club full tilt, wondering whether or not you are going to literally drill yourself into the ground or lose your balance or end up in the lake alongside your ball. And whilst the traction pattern underfoot is not spiked, like I have a couple of soft spike golf shoes here, the Travises, where you've got the small peaks and the sharp edges. These Sambas are also soft spiked, but the spikes are a little bit more rounded off, but there's more of them to obviously help with the grip. The traction pattern on the Travis Scotts is a little bit more squared off. There are some nipples, but they're not as good as they could be were they actually purpose made for golf. Like if you had the time and the technology, you could actually probably get in there with like a Dremel or something and just like carve away at some of the nubs on the outsole to make them a little bit more triangular or make them a little bit more spiky. Like these could quite easily be converted into a really solid soft spike golf shoe. But at least in my experience over the 18 holes, I found the grip to be really good. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that I was playing in dry conditions. And so I would say that the grip is good, but if the weather is wet or if it's damp, these aren't going to be very good. Next up, how do they take the wear? I mean, these were like 150 pounds at the end of the day, so you know, they're not cheap. Now, because these things are all suede, the shape did take a little bit of a beating after 18 holes because you're putting the shoes through a lot of stress when you're playing golf. Bending down to reed putts to pick your ball up, walking, twisting, flexing, all that sort of stuff had these looking a little bit beaten up after 18 holes, that's for sure. And obviously when it comes to the suede, it's a really tricky material to maintain if you're going to get mud splatters or you're going to drop your drink on them or just get them covered in duck crap or whatever. So from a maintenance standpoint, the shape is going to go pretty quickly and the materials are going to degrade pretty heavily unless you look after them really well before and after your rounds. They're obviously not waterproof either, so yeah. And so in terms of general comfort, absolutely fine. In terms of performance, yeah, in the right conditions, absolutely fine. And in terms of longevity, under maintenance and that type of stuff, yeah, they're not gonna hold up that well if you regularly beat them. But maybe this could be the type of shoe that you would enjoy doing that too. I don't know. So the question of whether or not the Travis Scott Zoom Field Jacks work good for golf, the answer is yes, they do. Provided you play with them on in the right types of conditions. I would say summer, links type course, pretty much as long as it's not raining and it's not dewy and it's not hilly, you should be absolutely sweet to play in the Zoom Field Jacks. And I personally think they look really good on feet for golf as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts. The Zoom Field Jacks are going to become, yeah, a bit of a regular rotator in this year's summer golf rotation. I think they look cool. I think they feel good on feet and they do the job. Not that they helped my score on this day, but yeah. There we go. What do you guys think? Would you guys play golf in the Zoom Field Jacks or would you leave it? Feel free to let me know. Let me know if you would like to see some more of these episodes where I talk about non-golf shoes that are okay for golf and what shoe you would like me to check out next. I do actually have a pair here that could be really good. These are the Salomon XT4s and these things have a fantastic looking rugged outsole on them. So let me know if you guys want to see me test out the Salomon XT4s for golf. Bro, what a colorway to do it with as well. Don't forget to like the video before you bounce, as well as check me out over on IG and follow my main account if you are interested in all things sneaker related. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care for now and peace out.